Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video, which is going to be a reading log. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, just in case you're wondering, why am I in such a setup? Because obviously this is not my home. This is my classroom, and I came here because I wanted to attend the classes, but unfortunately, the classes won't be held. And I'm literally stuck here for like 6 a.m. because I forgot to bring my keys back home. So, yeah, I'll have to wait here for like 6 to 7 p.m. And what better way to kill time than read a book? Yes, I have my Kindle right here. I brought my Kindle with me just because, I wanted to read while I was traveling. And I do that. I read while traveling because it's just a waste of time if you're not doing anything other than traveling. But, I've never thought that I would read a novel, that to record the reading log of it in my classroom. Because I'm an introverted girly when it comes to recording videos in public. But of course, there is nobody around. I'm literally sitting alone in my classroom with a Kindle and my laptop propped up as my camera. And my phone is sort of a like made up microphone. But it's okay. We're gonna work with that. Hopefully, it turns out good because I'm about to be reading one of my most anticipated read of all time. Like, I think Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber is gonna break me in ways that I cannot imagine. I don't know why, but I think I have high expectations of it just because I've seen multiple reading logs and ratings of this book, and those speak so highly of this book that I've created this pedestal where I kept Stephanie Garber alongside my favorite authors of all time. Like, what was the name? Sarah J. Maas and then Tara Murphy. Those two fantasies are my favorite of all time. Like I think of it at least once a day. I cannot get it out of my brain, and hopefully this book turns out to be the same, if not better. But if you ask me why I didn't read this book sooner, it's because I was waiting and waiting and waiting to get myself to read Carnival, but somehow I just didn't get to it because the plot was not it. It was not it to lure me to read it. But this one, I'm obsessed with it already. I really want to read it. And people say that Carnival comes before this series. And if you read this first, you're just going to spoil the entire Carnival series. But I think it's better to just kind of read and see for it yourself if you're loving this book and the other series that you're not into is worthwhile. Maybe I'll spoil a little bit of Carvel, but at least I'll read a good book? That's how I'm thinking. And even if I'm not thinking of reading Carvel, maybe this book might convince me to read it. Huh. Enough of blabbering. I think I should now get back to this book because this book is literally crying for me to read, like begging me to read it. By the way, just look at this book once. Like the cover, it's giving everything, like everything and beyond. And the person who designed this cover needs a raise. But okay, enough now. Without further ado, let's get into the reading. For those of you who haven't read this book and is wondering what this book is about, I'm just going to quickly read the synopsis of this book. How far would you go for happily ever after? For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings, until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses, to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that the bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants more from her than she had pledged for. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragic love. Count me intrigued. I'm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I I loved it. So basically she's heartbroken and there's a code. It says, always promise less than you can give. For fates, always take more. Do not make bargains with more than one fate. And above all, never fall in love with a fate. Why do I love that? I am at page number 10 and I'm already loving it so far. The writing style is just to die for. It's so good. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm afraid Stephanie Garber is going to be my favorite author from now on. Am I being too hopeful? Maybe I am, but there's always a reason to be hopeful. Oh my God. There's a door which leads away from a heartbreak, and she finds it, which is kind of broken, but at the same time, it is shaped like a heart. She says, please, I know you're a clever little thing, but you allowed me to find you. Let me in. And then she opens the door. When she's about to enter the door, like she's supposed to get this aroma of heartbreak. But instead, what she gets is a smell of sweet metallic apple and blood scent, which I'm hoping is the aroma of our male main character. Wow. I Why am I blushing? It was a tiny little detail, but yeah, it's a proof that a tiny little detail can also make you smile. Hello, everyone. It's the next day today. Let's just say that I did not finish reading yesterday. I did not even put a dent on it yesterday because I got busy. I got a work call and then I had to do some stuff. So yeah, I did not read it, but now I'm back here and I read up till part 2, The Magnificent North. And I have some thoughts to share. Basically, in this story, we follow Evangeline. She is heartbroken, wanted to marry someone, but the love of her life is marrying her stepsister. She doesn't want to hurt them, but somehow she just couldn't speak at the time. She wanted to speak out aloud that she loves this guy, she loves this person. After getting heartbroken, she goes to this church, or should I say, cursed church. It is full of magic, and she finds the door and enters it. She asks the door to allow her to enter it. And then she makes a deal with the Prince of Arts. The encounter was so fun. I've enjoyed each and every aspect of it. So basically she enters the church and then she begs the statue that was there to stop this marriage, and she tells the statue everything, that she doesn't want this to happen and that luck was the love of her life. And then there was a man who was crying in the corner. He starts clapping. Wait, I'll read it out to you. She says, please, I know you understand heartbreak. Stop Luke from marrying Marisol. Is it Luke or Luke? I think I'm gonna call him Luke because it sounds nice. Anyways, she says, please, I know you understand heartbreak. Stop Luke from marrying Marisol. Save my heart from breaking again. Now that was a pathetic speech. Two slow claps followed the end voice, which sounded just a few feet away. Evangeline spun around, all the blood draining from her face. She didn't expect to see him, the young man who was tearing his clothes in the back of the church, although it was difficult to believe that this was the same person. She had thought the boy was in agony, but he must have ripped away his pain along with the sleeves of his jacket, which now hung in tatters over a striped black and white shirt. And then she basically realizes that it is him, the Prince of Hearts. It was such a funny instance. I laughed out loud. And then she asks him to help her. He asks her not to chase him and says, "But even if you do really love this boy, you're better off without him. If he loved you back, he wouldn't be marrying someone else." End of the story. And I would agree to it. If someone is not giving their best to get to you or be the love of your life, he is not deserving enough to be your love. End of the story. But then when he bargains with her, saying that she needs to give 3 kisses to 3 other guys, he explains to her that, little hex is not a kiss. It should include tongue and all of that. And I was like, okay. And then he goes on saying that if you think that counts, maybe you haven't been kissed. And then they go back and forth between who is the best kisser. So he basically says, "So Luke is a hideous kisser." And then she says, "Luke is an excellent kisser." He says, "How do you know it if you have nothing to compare it with?" You can tell her straight away that you want to kiss her, but anyways. And then to mark their bargain, he takes her hand and in the underside of her wrist, he bites it hard enough to mark 3 broken heart-shaped white scars. He can basically feel it once she kisses another with, I guess, red markings. I'm not really sure, but. And then, just when I thought that Jack is a good guy, like he might be a good one, he proves to be otherwise. Basically, he wants to kill in order to complete that bargain, but she doesn't want anybody to get hurt. So basically, she asks to spare their lives. But what he does instead is to turn them into statues to stop the wedding. And she rushes there in order to stop the phenomenon. And she finally chooses to drink the poison herself. So she instead is crafted into this statue. And I was like, he didn't even save her. He just left her there. And after, I guess, 6 weeks or something, when everyone thought that she might be dead, she got revived by a fate named Poison. So basically, there are fates. Like, Prince of Heart is also a fate. And likewise, Poison is another fate. So he revives her, and then she goes back to her original life. But she gets so much popularity that she saved the entire city. But she craves for love, which she doesn't get. She gets the popularity, but she is craving for love. So it doesn't fulfill her wish. And then her stepmother wants to sell her late father's curiosity shop, which he left for her by the time she thought that she might be dead. She's just lost now. She doesn't want this to happen. I'm not entirely sure what this curiosity shop is all about because I'm pretty sure it is explained in detail in Caraval, and I did not choose to read Caraval first. So yeah, I'll have to just live with that, and I do not want to Google search it because it also shows me spoilers, which I don't want right now. Like, let me make a pretty hefty dent on this book, then I might search it up on Google when I would care less about getting any spoilers. That is what's happening right now. Her stepsister turns out to be good, but her stepmom is. No. She just doesn't give a darn about her. this stepsister is termed to be cursed. Cursed bride is what she's named after this entire thing happened. And now, basically, they are invited to the north. And now she's basically asked to attend this ceremony and attend the balls, slash a chance to be prince's wife. And now the stepsister and her is going to the north to attend the ceremony and balls and everything to get a chance to be a bride of the prince. She doesn't want it though, but she wants her sister to enjoy it and maybe forget Luke because he is a shitty guy and he, I think, has played with both of them. So I do not like this guy, at least right now. But yeah, there's another catch that Poison warns her about, which is she, with every decision that she makes, would go closer and closer and closer to the Prince of Hearts, to whom she bargained with. That's how the fates are. They pull you closer to them. And most probably, he is in the north. Like every possibility shouts about it. So yeah, I'm really hopeful about the next part, but let's see. Guys, I'm back in my classroom again and it's another day and I've made quite some progress. I'm currently at part 3, which is chaos, and I'm at page number 224. It's 64%, chapter number 38. So, yeah, I need to discuss about the part 2 that I just recently read. I feel like, in chapter number 2, you get a lot of hinting about the backstory and the politics of it. You also get to see that she gets to marry the Prince of the North. That too, Jax controls him. But it's funny to see their banter and how they go back and forth. He manipulates her in kind of kissing one another. Obviously, not Jax, but he asks her to kiss. Number one, the Prince of North. He controls him by his own mind. And then he also asks her to kiss the matriarch, which was so funny. Like, anyways, there's a lot of banter, and I'm liking the banter so far. It's amazing, to say the least. But the story is going kind of slow. Like, you can tell by the plot of it that in this book, we are not going to get them to kiss. Like, it's not happening. It's not possible. Quite literal. I know that. Then, on the night of their wedding, after they are wed, she asks Jax to remove whatever he was doing to manipulate him. Jax asks him to kiss him again with the new blood he got on her lips. She does that and she unintentionally kills him. It's because someone has poisoned them with poison tears. And that is literally the end of part 2. Jack wants to revive her. She basically sobs uncontrollably. And obviously the Prince of the North dies just as he gets the taste of the poison. But yeah, she cries inconsolably. She cries and cries and cries. She sobs and she just cannot control her emotions. And that is what the poison does to you, basically. So that's what happens. And then Jax kind of saves her. And that is it. That's over now. Like, he does it just because he wants something from her, not because he is attracted to her. But it was nice to see him going out of his way to save her. I loved it. I obviously get, I don't know, but there's just something about him, his posture, and how thoughtful he is. That, I mean, he's not really thoughtful, but I don't know why am I attracted to him, but it's just, yeah, I am. Okay? Don't come at me saying that he's a bad guy. I know that. So that's what happens. And then basically, he holds her the entire night to, get the antidote to work. I don't know what to say. am completely, utterly in loss of words. That happens, and now we're in part three because they are blamed. And now, just to clear the names, they are going to Chaos, a fate, who is basically a sort of a vampire. He's basically the Lord of Spies and Assassins. So he might be knowing who did this and why did he do that, or why did she do that. Hopefully, we'll get more of it in this book, and hopefully, I'll be able to finish this book today. What the actual fuck? I'm still reading the ending and I need to read the second book right now. I'm so confused. I don't know what to say. In the part three, they experience that vampire blood thing. She gets to see Luke, and Luke basically says that her stepsister is the one who's behind all this. She believes him. He opens the door and then he bites Jax. They experienced physical attraction and all of that. That was sweet. But then everything took a wrong turn. She somehow figured out that Jax isn't the one she's thinking he is. He's basically the one manipulating all of them, and including her, to open the door, the Valerie arc. I still don't know what that is and what it beholds, but yeah, that's basically the end of the story. There's a lot of mayhem at the end of the book, and there's a lot of chaos. But skipping that ahead, just as the story, he betrayed her. Now she is on her own, betraying Jax. I don't know what to think about that, but I honestly don't know what to rate this book because, like, there were instances which I absolutely adored. There were instances I absolutely loved few of the characters, including Jax. But now I don't know. It's just a bit too much. So I'm gonna give this book 3.5. In sentimental entry, I want to see more of that plot, the plot twist. The plot twist didn't quite got me hooked to read the second one, but it was interesting enough to continue the series. I'm overwhelmed with the fact that Jax is probably the villain and not the guy who I would bet my life to be with. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what the next book in the series beholds. But for now, yeah, as I said before, I get this book a rating of 3.5 and 3 on Goodreads. I'll probably see you very, very soon in another vlog of me reading the next book of the series. It's many days after. I thought the vlog ended right there, and I would probably start a new vlog of me recording the reading vlog of the second and third book of the series, that is The Ballad of Love After and A Curse for True Love. But unfortunately, I did not. I don't know why, but I totally forgot recording a vlog out of it. It's probably because the book was so good that I was lost in that world and it did not occur to me that I needed to record or give my thoughts on it. But now, since I've finished reading the entire series, I do not think I will put another reading vlog of it. So this is just me concluding the entire series for you guys. Okay, so overall, I give this book series a 4 stars. That's not a bad rating, but I will tell you why it was not a 5-star. Instead, it was a 4 stars. I am definitely obsessed with Jax and Evangeline. More specifically, Jackson is apples. But there were more to it than Jackson Evangeline. Before I start mentioning about the criticism of the book, I need to talk about what I loved the second as well as the third book. So if I brief the second book, it will be to develop the characters. We get to see a lot of Jackson Evangeline and why did he want to open the Valerie arc. He did not actually want to open the Valerie arc, but instead he wanted to go back to the past and change a few things. Instead, Evangeline thinks that he wants to open the Valerie arc. They start off rough and then she starts falling for him. He starts falling for her. We get to see a lot of that. We also get to see that he cares for her. It's one of the things which I love the most. After all of the development phase, she ends up opening the Valerie arc. Out of anger, something happens and he is forced to go back to the timeline, not to be separated from Evangeline. Instead, he went back to save Evangeline. He rewrote the history. It was so wholesome, but after that, it ends on a cliffhanger that Apollo steals Evangeline's memories from her. I don't know how that's possible, but we'll get back to the criticism later. So in the third book, what happens is that we get to see that Evangeline lost her memories, but not quite it. Like there's some parts that she remembers. There's this feeling that she needs to tell Jax something, but she cannot remember what that is or why is it so important to her. Basically, she had the urge in the second chapter before Apollo steals her memory to mention it to Jax that she loves him, but she's lost that memory now. She doesn't remember Jax. We go from there and it's a whole journey of how she remembers and regains her memory and they get their happily ever after. It was so good. It was chef's kiss. So that was it. Now let's get on to the criticisms of this book. I feel like there was definitely a good plot which could be developed into something great, something beautiful, but it actually focused on the back and forth between Evangeline and Jax, and I repeat, nobody wanted them together. The character development of the other characters was not up to the mark. We did not get closure to the stepsister or what happens to her. We do not know. And then we also do not get to see more of Luke and where he went. He totally disappeared in the third book. And then also we do not get to see more of chaos. The plot was, I think, kind of abrupt. Like it introduces characters, but then it does not dissolve where the characters lead to. Like the vampires, for example. We do not know what happened to those vampires. Or, for example, the significance of Apple. I really wanted to get that, but it was not explained. It was kind of incomplete for me in some respects. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if you can hear construction noises. It is so loud. Oh my God, I cannot hear myself speaking. But, anyways, I think the book was good. It was not the best book I've ever read. The only thing I remember from the book, now that I've read the book, and it's been a few days since I've read the entire series, I remember Jackson and Evangeline. Yes. I remember their love story. I remember everything about them, the banter, the cute moments. I remember every aspect of it, how Evangeline looked, how Jax reacted like a goofy man every single time he was near Evangeline, and how he was a completely different person when Evangeline was near him. But what I do not remember is the side characters were poorly developed and it ended abruptly. And I don't know why, but somehow I feel like there is going to be maybe a spin-off series or maybe a novella of some kind which gives a closure to these characters as well. And I would love to see that happening. But in saying that, I feel like I should end this video right here. So hope you guys have a great day today. I really wish you guys have enjoyed watching this video as much as I did while filming it, though I did not quite film the entire reading vlog. I left out parts of it. Only the first part of the book was blogged and properly blogged, I should say. But anyways, I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video as much as I did while filming it. I'll see you in your beautiful books next time. Bye. Got me upset.